Man, we're back. That was real classic.
The scum is thick.
Yeah. Oh my
The
gosh.
world needs the scum.
I've heard that
Right
from numerous sources, actually.
Hey, look, it's Casey.
Hi.
And it's me. And we're back for some more gourmet scum. Gourmet scum. So, folks, remember, there's also podcasting going on here. So you can listen to the majority of
Yeah.
any of this shit over where, Casey?
It's at dfatentertainment.com. Or if you look up DFAT Entertainment, DFAT, in your wherever you get podcast, we're there too. I just submitted It Crept from the 80s to Apple, which means it will go to the majority of places, and then Spotify. It's on Spotify too. So if you look up DFAT Entertainment, you can find all the shows, including the one you're listening to now.
Yeah, so if you don't want to look at our mugs,
come on,
or if you want to,
if you're on the go,
if you're on the go, and you still want to hear us rap about all this stupid shit, then you got that option for you.
Exactly. Yeah, this is for you, Bobby Heckman.
So, my goodness, what could we be talking about today, Mr. Bowkage?
I'm actually surprised you want to have this conversation today.
I think it needs to be.
Okay.
I think this conversation needs to be had.
All right. Yeah. Well, so the Snyder cut, right? Like I don't think you and I saw. Did we see the first one together?
No,
That's right. That's right.
I was at an employee screening.
Yep.
And everybody hated it. I mean, they're no joke. There were people booing and like yelling at the screen. It was a joke. I mean, we couldn't believe it, The first thing I thought watching that original Justice League was I felt bad for all the DC fans who were really excited for it. Yeah. I also was like, boy, they shit the bed, because this is the Justice League.
Yeah.
And like
this is their Avengers.
And to come out like that under 2 hours, the movie tanked. It was just like, boy, they just can't get their shit together. It was just so apparent that something strange is going on over there at DC.
Yeah.
And then to have Wonder Woman, be so good.
Right.
It's just so interesting. I don't know. Other than like the last act of Wonder Woman, which is a little meh, but that movie is fantastic.
Right.
And then for me, I loved Aquaman. I think Aquaman is so cheesy fun. It is so fun.
It's very, very good movie. Yeah.
It's just, it's just so fun.
Yeah.
And visually stunning.
Yeah.
And like it's a lot to take in, but it's a real adventure. I love that movie. It just was so bizarre the way that it was handled and the circumstances and everything. And it just first of all, I think we can all agree, and maybe even DC fans, that they kind of did it wrong from the get-go. We have Man of Steel, and then the next thing they try to do is shoehorn Batman in. and it just
Yeah.
it was just they were trying so fast to catch up to what Marvel was doing and not really caring about telling a coherent story with all these characters.
Right.
One, to introduce all of them in Batman versus Superman in a file
Yeah.
was stupid. And that might be Snyder's fault. You know what I mean? Like, that's, regardless of what you think of the man, that's a dumb move. But it could have been because DC was like, well, here, we have to start introducing these guys because the next movie is going to be Justice League.
Well, you remember that Dawn of Justice was part 1 or part 2. It was like, it was supposed to be like Dawn and like Twilight or something
Maybe,
like
I don't know.
that.
I thought that was just like a rumor.
I
That
thought
was
that was the original intention, and given how long it took to make that movie at, you know, as they're filming at the exact same time as Force Awakens and it comes out a year later, I bet you it was the exact same thing that just happened. Is that Zack Snyder shot a 4-hour, 5-hour movie, and Warner Brothers was like, nope, we ain't doing it. You know what I mean? You got to get to where you're getting to. And then that's what happened. Because, you know, reading interviews about this one too, it just sounds like he kept fighting with them and got sick of it. And with his daughter, you know, passing away, that was like the last straw. He was like, I just can't fight. I just don't want to do it anymore. So I don't know. I mean, after watching this movie, I kind of side with Zack Snyder as far as like, you know, we'll get into like the visuals and the story and all the other bullshit about the movie, but like just from a creative standpoint, it seems like he had a vision and they just did not care. And he probably had it since Man of Steel, you would assume. You know, as he was the one who really shepherded in this new DCEU or whatever they call it.
yeah.
Um, yeah, but I mean, the file thing is just, it's so dumb. It's so dumb.
Yeah, there's a lot in that movie that doesn't work for me. You know, we just watched it again because Katie
Did you?
had never seen any of this stuff other than Man of Steel.
Okay.
She likes Man of Steel.
I like Man of Steel. Yeah.
I like it, but again, I was, you know, listen. First of all, we should let everyone know
where you come from.
Yeah, like I am by no means a DC fan. In the sense that I didn't pore over the comics growing up. I didn't like become invested in any of the like cartoons or any of that stuff that was happening other than Batman.
Yeah.
Batman has always been my go-to DC guy. I did read Batman comics. I did read Flash comics. Flash, I would say, is my second favorite DC character, always. So, you know, I love the TV show of the Flash.
Yeah.
I did read comics. I felt that regardless of, I guess the DC cartoon television shows, I always felt that the DC cartoon movies were fantastic.
Yeah, they still are.
And I think they
Mostly.
were like the best thing going for DC
Yeah.
early on, you know. Superman has never been a thing for me. I find the character irrelevant just because he's supposedly the strongest man in the universe, and I don't know. I just I don't know. It's he doesn't appeal to me. You know, he's afraid of green rocks, and I just that thing didn't work for me. The Green Lantern thing was always goofy to me. Even as a kid, I was just like,
Yeah.
what the fuck are these lanterns that these guys are throwing around, and they got these rings that can make dumb shit, fists and whatnot. I was just like, this is dumb. But I love, which is weird, and it could be because of, growing up, born in the 70s, growing up in the 80s and all that stuff. But Superman, the Richard Donner Superman movie, I love. I think it's so good. Just, I don't know that. And so to me, that was the epitome of Superman. Like those two Richard Donner movies, that was Superman. Christopher Reeve was Superman.
Right.
And I dug that. And then of course, come on, 89 Batman is fucking Batman. It was like, holy shit, this is new game in town. And Michael Keaton has always been my Batman.
Yeah.
So it's not like I hate DC. And believe me, I certainly love all the like the Vertigo shit. Like,
yeah,
fucking love Constantine.
Right.
All that. I love that stuff. Watchmen is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking books, and movie and all that stuff. So I'm not a hater. I just don't have the connection and the love that so many people do.
Yeah.
So that's where I come from when I go into these things. I will absolutely say if I don't like something, but if I do, I'll absolutely say it. Like Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Shazam. As far as these new DC movies are concerned, those three are the best they've put out, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I agree.
And I own them, and they're great, and they're super fun. So, on Zack Snyder, I love Zack Snyder. I think he is a sumptuous visual filmmaker.
I'm in the
100%. I love 300. I love Watchmen, and by God, I love Sucker Punch. I really, really do. I think he's a really great visual filmmaker.
Yeah.
It's when he got into the DC proper, the superheroes that everyone knows and loves. That's when things started to get weird for me, because he has such a different take on these characters, other than Batman, but he has such a different take on these characters that I didn't 100% meld with. And I did see Batman versus Superman with you.
Yeah.
And I just remember just being like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I remember you not.
I just was so like, what is this? And I really didn't like his take on Superman. But the one thing I got out of it was his Batman.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, man, I would rather Zack Snyder make a straight up Batman movie than any of this other stuff, because clearly his sensibilities gravitate towards Batman, truly, because again, and even I think of Snyder's fighting, his action, it's very brutal and powerful. He loves power.
Sucker punching.
It's a wallop in his
it is
when he has his action. It's just you feel it. And man, did you feel it with his Batman.
Yeah.
And I think he's beautifully suited to tell a Batman story, for sure. So coming out of that movie, I was like, this is the best stuff in the movie. Like, just cut everything else out and give me all the Batman stuff.
Give us that 15-minute Batman. Short film.
I hated that they shoved Doomsday and the death of Superman and all. I just was like, what are they doing? They are cruising, and they're trying to do something that just isn't working right now. You know, I always felt that they should have just done their individual films, and then did the team up. But they, you know, they thought they were going to catch up, man. You know, and right there is indicative of it. Look, Batman versus Superman should have made $1 billion,
In its sleep.
and it didn't.
You're right.
You know, and when the first reviews came out, people fucking hated that movie.
Yeah.
You know, that shouldn't have happened. You know, these are two iconic characters that are beloved,
I mean, they're number 1 and 2,
and then
you know, of all time, other than like Spider-Man. Yeah.
you know, it just
Yeah.
fucking Avengers comes out of the gate with the first $200 million weekend ever. You know, like smashing records.
Right.
Uh, uh, I don't know. And I kind of blame Zack Snyder, unfortunately, because of his vision. You know, his vision, I think, just didn't meld with a lot of people who loved DC out there. You know, it's different. It's different. When I think of Justice League, and I don't know about you, but when I think of Justice League, I think of, like it or not, I think of very colorful world. I think of very colorful characters because they stand for truth and justice. You know what I mean?
Right.
They are beacons of hope. And in every iteration of Justice League, it's colorful and it's powerful and it's hopeful, and they're all there in their glory. And then these movies are so dire and bleak, and the color palette is drained of life.
Yeah.
And like, you know, so it's bizarre. I think it's very bizarre for some people. So that's where I'm coming from. It's not from hate, guys. It just, I don't have the connection. I just don't have the passion. Like I said, I'm going to gravitate towards Flash and Batman way more than the other characters.
Right.
And unfortunately, because of the way this was done, I felt like the Wonder Woman and the Aquaman from the separate movies were far better than the Wonder Woman and the Aquaman we got in Justice League. I felt that Gal was kind of rough in Justice League as far as dialogue and performance was concerned. The action was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Aquaman, I felt like he was just kind of there and given some, you know,
I'm a man.
Yeah, you know, and he's, of course, he's more fleshed out in his own movie.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, I just, I don't know. And at the time, yeah, I don't know, guys. I don't know. So going into this whole Snyder cut thing, there was really a part of me that was just confused by it. I was just like, why? Like, what is, I just couldn't, I didn't understand what this was going to do. Like,
Right.
what was the point of this? You know, other than Zach getting a chance to actually show what he was going to do, you know, because clearly people hated what we got.
Big time.
I will say that, you know, fans of DC are, not all of them, but the majority, it seems, or at least the loudest, are psychos. You know, but I think that there are psychos in all of fandom. You know,
Wow, we're Star Wars fans.
Star Wars, you know, even Marvel.
Yeah.
You know, there is a set group of people within all the fandoms who seem to be underdeveloped children, who just yell and snap and threaten people's lives if they don't like something.
Yeah.
Um,
They're very entitled.
it's bizarre and it's toxic and it's weird. And
Yeah.
so I think for me also with this Snyder cut, I was just like, I don't want anything to do with this. Like, because look at what is happening. I mean, people are
Yeah.
fucking bonkers over this stupidity, you know? It wasn't until like, you know, I guess getting closer to the idea of it actually happening and seeing what some of them were doing as far as like raising money and uh, truly wanting to see what Zack Snyder was going,
Right.
you know, what his vision was, and the fact that Zack was also openly talking with fans and you know really sort of embracing the good part of everything that was happening. And then I was like, you know what? I mean, I think if anybody deserves it, Zack deserves it. You know, to have a chance to show what he was going to do.
Hmm.
So that part of it, I was like, all right, like, you know, what a fucking mess, and let him fix the mess. You know. So that was my
A
thought
mess.
going into the whole Snyder cut thing. You know.
It's you know, I've always been a Marvel fanboy, but I will say, other than reading, you know, I read Batman my entire life. I'd read some Flash, I'd read some Green Arrow, and occasionally some Wonder Woman. But I watched, you know, all the shows, all the cartoons, all the movies for sure. Um, but I will say that if you were ever, you know, before the whole Marvel initiative started, if I were ever to pick Justice League versus Avengers, I would have picked Justice League all day. Maybe just because Batman's there, but like I thought, to your point, like those characters to me, and that's the point of DC, is that they're gods amongst men. They're not the everyday man who just gets, you know, magical powers and can do things now. So when you hold up the, you know, the Justice League with Superman leading it, it's like, damn, these are the heaviest of hitters when it comes to superheroes. And it wasn't until the movies really making the Avengers team more, well, honestly, it was really the Ultimates that made them like more cool. Like those comics and those animated movies really, to me, was where I turned to start going, well, okay, maybe I will check out these Iron Man comics that I've been avoiding my entire life, because I just didn't. I never liked Iron Man. I never really gave a shit about him. I was like, he's just some weird alcoholic
I like
he's a suit. He's not Batman.
so I definitely am a Marvel kid, 100%.
Yeah.
Uh, um, and like I said, outside of the few DC comics that I frequented, it was always Marvel. So I have much more of a deep connection to those characters.
Yeah.
And I would agree with you 100% that as an adult, going into the Marvel world or continuing the Marvel world, because like most of us comic book fans, we sort of go off and on. We drop in and we drop out. The way we collect a comic is different every year. You know what I mean? So certainly things were missed. Certainly, you know, I followed the bigger stories that were happening, you know,
Yeah.
in the 90s and all that stuff. But once I got into my, you know, 20s, and it definitely was few and far between. But I would agree that 100% once the Ultimates happened, I was like, okay, this is a perfect time to jump back into all of this.
Yep.
And I'm saying Ultimates with Ultimate Spider-Man and
Yeah, yeah. The whole
Avengers,
Mark Millar and Brian Michael Bendis.
their
Bam.
whole thing of rebooting for a new generation and all that stuff.
Yep.
That's when I jumped back in, and so that was sort of my uh, Marvel from then on. It was like this is great, you know, and everything is updated and everything is like more in tune with what's happening at the time,
Yep.
you know, in the
Yep.
world and everything. And I dug all that. So, and like you said, going forward with the cartoons that they were putting out and all of that stuff, it was like, wow, this is the Avengers, man. This is the stuff that I'm
Yes.
giving a shit about now. And smartly on their part, when Marvel Studios was created, with Feige and all those guys, they were in tune with that
Yes.
and cherry picked from that universe to create the universe they were creating for the
Yep.
screen.
So if you guys don't know, go back and read the Ultimate stuff, because that's nowadays that's where it is. That's where it's coming from.
Yeah. Yeah.
But with DC, I always didn't really care because same as you, I don't really care about Superman until he's evil, and then I love him. I love evil Superman. But when the New 52 happened for DC, I did start reading the other ones, like the other characters that I just never ever really paid attention to too much. And then I started going back and I was like, huh. So this is like what, 2011, I think. And to your point about like changing habits, I started following writers instead of characters. So if Scott Snyder is writing something, even if it's a character that I never would have cared about before, I like Scott Snyder, so I will try it, or
Yeah.
Jeff Lemire or whatever. So that's really what started changing for me, was that it was these writers that I started to recognize more and more, where I go, okay, I don't know anything about this character, but they're writing it. I will read this run of comics and see what it's like. So I started to get a deeper appreciation of DC around that time, and really kind of going, okay, so it's only been the last 10 years that I started liking him more, past those, Batman and those other guys. So, going into, Man of Steel, I like it more now than I did when I saw it. I really didn't like it in the theater. We might have saw that too.
No,
Maybe.
it was me and Caden.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah, I remember like the thing that I wanted the most out of this movie, Man of Steel, was to
Yeah.
finally give us Superman being Superman, like using those powers against a villain.
That he can actually fight without
Um,
fucking having to hold back, which I
so
hate.
I was that for me was the best part of that movie.
Yeah.
Was actually seeing Superman unleashed for the first time, really,
Yep.
truly, and seeing what he could do. And
Yeah.
that's when I was like, okay, well, Zack Snyder gets that. Like,
Yep.
we want to see him fucking do what he can do.
Yeah.
And he did it in spades. The other thing I loved about that movie, and I wish we had a whole movie about it, was Krypton.
Yeah.
Like that opening
It's great.
is
It's a great
fucking
opening.
superhero Star Wars. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like I was like, oh, give me all of this.
Yeah.
Like let's have a class struggle movie
Yeah.
of just this. Like let me
Yeah.
see the Kryptonians fighting, and like that was awesome.
I mean, like it is, there's parts of it I really, really like. And I remember at San Diego Comic-Con when they announced Batman v Superman, and they did the whole Dark Knight Returns speech and all that. And I go, okay, it's cool because that's one of the greatest comic books I've ever read. But at the same time, like, did we earn this? Like,
Well, and they were shoving it into a Superman movie.
yeah,
It
exactly.
was
Like,
almost like, yeah, Superman's all right, but we know Batman's cooler, so
yeah,
let's bring Batman in ASAP.
yep.
Uh, and I didn't like it. And
No,
to try to shove all of those storylines into one movie was bizarre. Was
yeah,
very weird. When you could clearly tell Zack Snyder was like, you know what? I'd rather just make a Dark Knight Returns movie.
Yeah.
You know? And then fucking Superman got shafted.
Yeah, he does. I mean, and even the Ultimate Edition is a more cohesive movie. It doesn't make the movie necessarily that much better, but at least it's like you can get it, I guess, watching the extended edition or whatever. But yeah, Superman dying had zero weight to me because I'm like, I just met this guy.
Yeah,
Like,
not at
I
all.
don't know him.
I was like, this means nothing to me. And
Yeah.
and I think so. Let's get into the Snyder cut. So what are your initial thoughts of the movie?
I mean, if you guys don't want to listen to any more of this podcast or watch the video, I loved it with a big ass L, and so did Nisha. She was like, "Can we just put Kira to play in her room? Let's just watch more. Let's just watch more," because we had to watch it over like 4 days because we got a toddler in the house. And we go to bed at like freaking 9 o'clock because we're exhausted. But we did, and we watched it in the parts, which was great that they did that. Actually, at first I was like, that's stupid, but now I loved it because I was like, okay, let's we just need these 10 minutes. But we loved it. I mean, I'll go into why, but absolutely, yep, that was my initial.
Okay. I definitely didn't love it.
Yeah.
And Katie watched it with me, and she didn't love it.
Yeah.
But I liked it. It was.
Well, you sent me a text. Meh.
Yeah. I mean, it was leaps and bounds better than 2017. 2017, for sure. So the best thing I got out of it was the action.
Okay.
At like the visuals. Once again, Snyder is killing it with the visuals, and I was definitely, I think I was giddy at the action. I was like,
yeah,
this is, I mean, when he presents you with an action scene, it's like a painting.
Oh yeah. It's a lot happening usually.
Yeah, or like a splash page.
Yeah. Well, they did one of those too.
Yeah. Too little, too late.
I know. I was like, well, we have seen this, but cool that they're doing that.
Yeah, so my thing with the movie was, one, I kept thinking, you know what? This is so great for the fans of this franchise. Like, I'm really, if anything, I'm more excited for them than
Thank you.
I was thinking that this is vindication for Zach, and I think it really comes down to, ultimately, what you said was, for me, this just wasn't earned.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any emotional connection to any of these people at all, like at all.
Even now, though, I mean, like it.
No,
like now you know Wonder Woman, but you don't have more connection or whatever.
Because I felt he was better in Wonder Woman.
Right.
Same with Aquaman.
Definitely for Aquaman.
I felt he's better in his own movie.
Yeah.
And that's just because, listen, they shot these differently. It was a different time, and I think regardless of Zach, you know, casting Gal and really making that the Wonder Woman we know.
Yeah.
Patty Jenkins, I think, understands Wonder Woman a little more. You know what I mean? Um,
That new movie. I don't
well,
know.
84 sucked. 84 definitely sucked. But that first movie, man, like, and she's wonderful in the movie.
She is.
In that
Absolutely.
first movie.
I mean, she's wonderful in the second one. I don't have anything against anyone's acting in Wonder Woman 84.
There's some stuff that Gal is going through in that movie, and it's real cheese. It's got some real cheese on that. So overall, I think through the whole thing, I was like, man, like they're really, they're really laying on that this is supposed to be important.
Well, yeah.
like this is, there was a pompousness to the movie. There was a like a very much like this is more important than the getting vaccinated. This is, I just felt like it was so over important, like through the music, through the slow-mo, through everything, that they were really pumping this thing up as like, this is the second coming of anything you've ever seen.
Right.
When in actuality, it's a fucking movie about superheroes.
Right.
With special powers. You know what I mean? Like, I just was so like, I chuckled a lot at some of the over dramaticness of it. Yeah, because it was so self-important. There's shots in this movie that were just like, ooh, ooh, like what are they doing? Please, like, pull back, guys. It's just a fucking movie, like, I don't know. So things like that didn't work for me. So yeah, I honestly can say like the best thing for me was the action and the visuals. Because I just had no emotional connection, unfortunately, for me.
Right.
But again, I was not begrudging anybody who was like having a ball with this thing, I definitely, after I saw it and saw the hyperbole of some of these fans, like, this is this is a masterpiece, and blah blah blah. I'm like, hey man, more power to you. More power to you, as long as you're having a great time. And and people who were like, I was crying through the whole movie.
My wife said that. She goes, if we would have saw this in the theater, I would have cried. I was just like, when?
Yeah, for what?
I don't know.
For what? I have no, I just zero.
She was so, which I was very like. Here's the thing. Ultimately, even if we have differing opinions, we never want to go into any movie not liking it. I don't go and spend money on a movie and go, fuck this. This is gonna suck.
Ultimately, this did its job. It entertained.
It did, for sure.
You know what I mean? It was better than the other one.
Yep.
And it entertained me.
Yep.
So there you go. I think I just felt it wasn't earned. I didn't know these people.
Right.
I just
yeah.
And he had like, this is something, there was no way, like, to think what Zach was doing with this clearly mapped out.
Yeah.
There was no way this was ever going to see the light of day in a movie theater. No way. Unless they split it in two.
Yeah, which they should have,
They absolutely should have.
I was talking to Chris Walk about that. Like
Justice League Part 1, Justice League Part 2. It should have been that.
Yes.
So this was honestly the only way we were going to get something like this.
Right.
I can't even imagine seeing this. I can't even imagine how they went about trying to truncate this movie,
Well, I was thinking too, like, and I understand why, Ben Affleck and people were destroyed, like going through the circuit. Could you imagine promoting the Whedon movie, knowing that this was what he had in mind? Because he clearly has been talking to these guys. This is it. This is the movie, Dark Side. I'm planting these seeds, blah blah blah, and then they got to go and watch like this Russian family get like trucked off. I was just like, I would have probably went to drinking too if I was Ben Affleck, because that's insanity to me to have to promote that piece of shit when even what's his Ray Fisher. I think he handled things really stupidly.
Yeah.
I think he should have come out with that stuff right now, like after this happened. He could have said all his things like, hey, there's a better cut, and you guys wait, there's a better movie out there, blah blah. Fine, say that. You're not going to lose your job. But if he would have waited to say it after the premiere of this, he would have probably still been Cyborg and done what he wanted.
Yeah.
Because now it's like just what you said, it's vindication for all of them to say, nope, this is it. this is as good as it was and what it's going to be. And so I kind of feel bad for all the actors that had to deal with this garbage.
I also I didn't find Dark Side menacing. I thought it was kind of a meh. I hated the fact that the fucking boom tube was open and he's just kind of looking.
Staring.
He's just chilling. He's just like, and the superheroes are just staring back.
Yeah.
Here's your boy.
Yeah.
Here's his head. Why didn't Darkseid step through that boom tube?
Well, Nish asked that, and I was like, knowing what happened the last time he came to Earth, if he walks through that boom tube, he's gonna die.
I guess
they're all gonna I would imagine, like, they were all afraid to go there because of Superman, because of the Kryptonian. That's
Thanos
why
wasn't afraid.
Thanos don't. He earned his place in
So I was just like, man, this guy's dumb. Like I was just like, he ain't scared. I'm not like, I was reading reviews of people going, Darkseid was so scary. He was so intimidating. Like, what?
I like Darkseid as a character, and I liked him in the film, but that's just because it's like you need your Thanos. Like, he's the biggest of the bads in the DCU for the most part, and I was glad that we got to see it. So my bar was so incredibly low, and both of us were talking about how much of this movie doesn't matter and how it like ultimately isn't going to change anything, and it probably still won't, other than two things. One, I'll watch this movie again. I would have no problem watching it. And B, I really wouldn't be surprised if WB was like, you know what, do your Injustice, do your Nightmare, have Lois die and use those guys and do that, because people will clearly see it.
Once again, doing Superman dirty.
Well, I'm okay, because again, Superman's a bad guy in that, and I'm totally fine with it. And I like Henry Cavill. I don't have anything against that guy. I like him.
I think he's great, but I think he deserves a proper.
He deserves a Man of Steel 2
Superman movie.
He does, for sure. He absolutely does.
They didn't give him a chance to really do his thing.
No.
So yeah, I mean,
do you think they would give them do you think Zack Snyder would do, I guess, the third part of a trilogy?
I think something is going to happen. I really do. I honestly think WB is looking at this and being like, holy shit, like,
well, everybody liked it.
This was bigger than we thought.
Yeah.
But the problem is they are already on their track with the Flash, and the Flash resetting things. So I don't know what they would do or what timeline or what they would, you know
I
what I
think
mean?
if
Because
you
clearly they already have their set path for the Flash and
right.
and all the things that are happening in that movie to reset and go forward after the Flash. So I don't know,
I
you
think
know.
you would just say multiverse or, this Earth. You know what I mean? Because like if we're pulling 89 Earth and you know what I mean? Like maybe there's a 66 Earth and
Oh,
like
Batfleck is in the Flash.
right. So Batfleck showed up and he clearly showed up for this. So he's not opposed to playing the character
Yeah,
again.
I guess it would it would be very confusing. They they really need a Kevin Feige.
I mean, they do. Yeah, obviously. They
You know,
definitely
they need somebody who has a fucking A, B, and C plan for all this stuff. And I just,
I think their plans are at this point, we're just going to put out movies and not even have it connect because of how bad it failed.
well,
I
yeah,
mean,
but
Shazam doesn't seem to have anything to do with Aquaman.
no, but it's in the world.
It's in the world. Yeah.
Um, well, that's what I mean, like, as far as Snyderverse is concerned. Like, I don't know what they would do. Uh, again, yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, what I hope is, because DC is so reactionary, I hope they don't fuck up the Flash, because they're like, well, wait a minute,
Right.
wow, we were mistaken. Okay, so let's rethink the Flash and have it connect to
Right.
something Zach can do going forward. I'm afraid of that. I'm afraid of
Right.
idiots running DC, and then they'll just fuck everything up again. So I'm hoping. Listen, unfortunately for the fans, I just would rather they not do anything after this
Mm-hmm.
with this universe.
Right.
Uh, let them try to get a path going, you know, and go from there. Clearly, we're going to get more of Wonder Woman, Aquaman, you know.
Yeah.
But as far as Batman and Superman are concerned, I don't know, man. I don't know.
It's hard to say because it's like because then we also got Pattinson's Batman, and I'm
Yeah,
sure
which is
he signed on for 3 movies or whatever too.
yeah.
Like, so who knows what's going on, but
The best thing that I can say about Zack Snyder's world, as far as Batman is concerned, is that he's finally giving me personally the Batman that I enjoy.
yeah.
Meaning Batman is interacting with weird creatures, supernatural shit, cosmic shit, you know,
Yeah.
that stuff,
Yeah.
which is fucking Batman to me. You
Right.
know? That's why I do not like the Nolan movies, other than Batman Begins, because that was the most, for me, the most comic booky out of those three movies.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I want Batman to interact with Clayface. I want Batman to interact with the Scarecrow, but the Scarecrow, you
Right.
know, things like that. So Snyder's world is giving me that. Wow, there's aliens. There's all these weird ass things.
Right.
In his world, we could get a Killer Croc. We could get, that type of shit. Clearly, with Suicide Squad,
Squad. Yeah.
we're getting Sharkman and all that shit,
King
right?
Shark.
King
Yeah.
Shark and shit
Yeah.
like that. So
I
like,
mean, we did get Killer Croc in the first one, though he sucked. Hey, I'm not
you
saying.
know what I mean,
Yes.
you know.
Yeah.
Uh,
I
so I love that.
yeah.
I love
Yeah.
the more spectacle when Batman is concerned. He can still be the detective. You know, he can still be the taking out the low life criminals. But man, do I love the world of Gotham. I love the weirdness of Gotham, you know.
Well, someday.
Tell you what I didn't like
What?
in this movie was that epilogue. Whew. Woo! Boy, did I not like that.
Like specifically the nightmare thing.
The movie just wouldn't end. It was like,
says the person who watched Lord of the Rings with like 12 different endings.
I love Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings, that's emotional. That's some weird shit. That's some good shit. You cared about that. That was a wild journey.
I know it was. It earned every 12th ending, but the only thing I think it was weird is like the Martian Manhunter thing.
Oh my God, I hated that.
I didn't hate it, but I was like, I totally
hated it.
forgot.
Even in the when he shows up in the middle of the fucking movie, I was like, give me a break. One, don't be fucking sitting here talking to Lois Lane, who's just a goddamn reporter. Go hang out with the goddamn Justice League and help these motherfuckers. Like, what are you doing? We need you, Lois Lane. You have to be a reporter.
Yeah.
Get back out there. We need you.
Yeah.
If not for you, then no Superman. No.
We were both like, what? And then I thought about it and I'm like, but why? Like, what are you doing?
Then he fucking shows up at the end. Bruce is like, who are you? He wasn't afraid, wasn't anything. Bruce just steps out. He's like, what's up, man?
Yeah. You woke me up.
You weird flying alien dude. Like, not even like,
yeah.
Hey, man. Justice League, bro, you did it. Your parents would be proud.
Yeah, I was like, did you know the weight?
And then he's like, all right, see ya.
Yeah. It was like, again, I didn't hate it, but it was a very goofy and weird, and like, I like the nightmare stuff for sure, and I like Jared Leto's Joker, so I don't care about that, but that was like very kind of tacked on and weird.
Yeah, the nightmare stuff. I was like, ooh. Yeah. Such an odd thing, What a weird nightmare. I'm thinking about fucking Deathstroke and Mira,
Hey, it's a vision of some future that Zack Snyder will shoot.
Old Barry Allen and yeah, and then the Joker here to help. What's the fucking Joker gonna do? I don't know. That whole thing was stupid to me. I was like, this is dumb.
It's good stuff. Well, we watched it, and it exists, and for DC fans, it's the second coming.
I guess. Yeah. Listen, that's the thing, man. I'm really happy for the people who are loving it, because I know how much I love my Marvel movies and how invested I am with these characters, and the emotion that I have for all of the Marvel universe. Like, I am emotionally invested and connected to all of these characters. So it does mean something to me. I'm not going to befriend somebody who's crying or whatever, because that meant something to them. And I cry at the drop of a hat when it comes to these types of fantasy movies, Like, if it is emotional to me and I'm connected, then yeah, hell yeah. I absolutely, out of joy and out of like, something like Tony Stark dying, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Joy because I'm seeing something like, oh my God, I was 5 years old and this is coming to life, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I get that. But I just don't have that connection with this world. But I'm happy for everybody who is like, fucking A, I also didn't like the aspect ratio. I didn't quite buy his reasoning for the aspect ratio.
I didn't either, because I'm like, you do it when you have it in IMAX.
Yeah.
Like, sure, do whatever the hell you want, but
Yeah.
like we're not in IMAX, buddy.
Yeah.
Like,
And I watched it on a 120-inch
yeah.
projection screen, 4K.
Yep.
But I was still like, man, I would really love to
Yep.
really see it.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, this is bigger than life, and I wanted the scene to be bigger than life. And I was like, okay, well,
Just
spread it out,
widen
bro.
it out, Bill. Like then it is.
Let me see it.
Yeah.
Um, it's great for if you're watching it on an IMAX screen, but
Right.
not. So, but I mean, ultimately, that didn't.
It didn't really
It didn't
take away
ruin
from anything. Yeah.
The visuals were still outstanding.
Volko's hair was outstanding.
Didn't have it in a ponytail. Big deal.
No, I know. It was just like, woof. That's a look I have not seen from Willem Dafoe.
Oh, I was like, man, for Mira, I was like, stop talking.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
She didn't have it in the movie, right? In the
No,
Aquaman movie.
no.
Yeah, that was rough.
It was so bizarre, especially that nightmare sequence. I was like, ooh,
Yeah, yeah.
God.
Well, she's gone, so we'll never have to see her again.
Is she though?
Yeah, I think so. I think they're recasting her.
Are they? Because I saw that like it keeps going back and forth that no, WB is not recasting her. Yes, there's reports that she's being recast.
Right. I guess we don't know until they start filming and it's, whatever. But yeah, I guess you're right. There's conflicting reports
Is
right
James
now.
Wan attached to part 2?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Unless it's Lee Winnell, which I'll also take.
Yeah, but
one of those two.
they need to keep his vision for sure.
Well, he built a world. I guess fucking straight up
beautiful
world.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And when you watch it on that 120-inch screen for the
I can't
IMAX
wait.
scenes,
I can't wait.
and they just open up.
Yeah.
I was like, this is glorious. This is great. This is how you do it.
See, Zach.
So yeah, I'm as far as Zach is concerned, I really am. I want him done with this DC thing. I really do. He's done it 3 movies. Like, I'm really looking forward to Army of the Dead. Getting back on track. I just want to see more things from him because he is a
auteur.
But he's a genre filmmaker, and I want to see more weird shit from him outside of this superhero stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think, when I initially saw the movie, I said right after, I was like, well, I don't need to ever see this again. And Katie was like, no. No. But I think I probably will watch it at least one more time just to see if there's something that I'm missing, or
well, you don't hate it.
I don't hate it, but I don't love it either.
Yeah. I think it's like,
and I don't know if I want to love it. It's not
right.
like I want to see it again, but I don't know. I wish I could see it through the eyes of somebody like you or a big DC fan and see what are you seeing that I'm not, like what is making this so powerful for you but not me.
Well, I think it's that connection to the characters, like you just said, where there's things that they will do in a Marvel movie, Civil War, they can't do it. You know what I mean? Going from the scale of the comics to an airfield with like 8 characters going at it with each other. When you look at it from the bigger picture, it's cheesy and stupid. But when I watch it on screen and I'm seeing some of the, characters that I've loved now for like 10 years, and I'm seeing, Black Panther and Spider-Man all on the same screen at the same time, I'm like, holy shit, this is the biggest thing I've ever seen at that time. You know what I mean? So it was just like, I will let a lot of things slide because I'm seeing things that I've never visually seen before. So I've never seen Darkseid on the big screen. This is it. You know what I mean? I've never seen all those characters standing together in a row. This is it. And I probably never will at this
That scene was
point. Who
terrible.
knows? Huh?
That scene at the
Oh,
end.
the lineup.
Ugh.
But I
Again,
just,
I was like, this, you guys, like,
oh man, this is
you
it. They're
jacked
looking into the
yourself off
horizon.
here. You know, you are real, you are in love with yourself,
Yeah.
Zack Snyder. Like, they're just standing there. Like, get on the fucking ship.
Yeah.
You know?
Well,
Like,
I also was like, didn't that ship get blown up or something?
yeah, well, clearly, I mean, Cyborg must have, like,
That's what I mean. I was like, isn't this ship like shredded?
he must have turned it on again or something.
I don't know. But
Um,
so I let a lot of stuff slide when it comes to superhero movies in general, because the comic books are always better, almost 9 times out of 10. But the fact that you get to see, with the exception of like Sin City, which is like literally panel for panel, and even some parts of Watchmen, you know what I mean? Like, it's very, like, none of the Marvel movies are really like, this panel is here. Not a lot.
sometimes there's
Sometimes.
little
Yeah.
homages.
Homages, but like, you know, most of the time, all these comic book things are not like, this was this, and now you're seeing it. And a lot of the times, the people write these movies have never even written a comic book before and
Yeah.
have no fucking clue. So, I'll just let it go. And I thought it was cool for the sake of, seeing some things that I have never seen. And because of the other one being so incredibly bad that I forgot so much of it.
I mean, they
We were
really
watching,
did.
I was like, what the fuck is this?
I mean, they really did improve.
Every aspect except for the music,
It's
because I
yeah.
love the Danny Elfman.
So did I.
I actually listened to that soundtrack over and over again after that movie.
Yeah.
And so that was I get it, but I was a little sad.
It would have been
about
pretty
that.
cool to still have those cues.
Batman moments. Yeah.
In this
And
movie.
people hate that soundtrack. It's so weird to me. So weird to me. But
yeah, the music really didn't do much for me in this movie at all. It was almost non-existent to me.
Yeah. No, it was just background noise. Using Hans Zimmer's score every fucking 2 seconds. I was just like, come on, all right. It's raining. You got to play the Superman music. Like, come on.
So what did you think of the Flash scene?
The reverse time scene?
Well,
like at the end?
No,
or the beginning one.
I didn't like that either. But
the
only reason I didn't like that
was
because of the stuff he was saying. I was real like, oh, come on, like this is so no, like don't even talk.
Yeah.
Just do what you need to do, but don't like, I'm, whatever the fuck he's saying all this shit.
Yeah.
Doing, like it's like what?
Yeah. I was hoping I guess for that scene I liked it because it was using those powers, and I thought of the future of him going back, fucking it all up.
Yeah.
So for that I was like, okay, this is cool. But you're talking about the opening scene where they don't even mention Iris. Yeah, like Nish goes, who was that? Yeah. And I was like, I'll wait just in case they tell you, which they never did. Yeah. And he sucks, Ezra Miller, compared to Grant Gustin. It's not even, it's like night and day. Yeah. I like him more as the movie goes on. And I was like, okay, you made some fun jokes, whatever. But like, he's just, I mean, I hate to be like that, but Grant Gustin is just so good. And I know they'll never replace him with him, but that's all. It was rough.
I definitely, I hated, I think this is so silly, but I think Zack Snyder's his choice, his style of music that he enjoys is terrible.
Well, yeah.
He I think he likes a lot of music that is just garbage. So he is throwing in some of the shittiest fucking songs in the movie that are just like, get this fucking song out of here. What? It is ruining the scene.
Yeah.
And he does it a lot, and he
He
does it
does it every movie. He
slow
does it.
motion scenes that are
Yes.
just like over dramatic and
Oh
silly.
yeah.
And it's like, get this fucking out of here. So I was like, during the Flash scene, one, who cares? What the fuck is this?
Yeah.
And two, I'm like,
I mean,
and
yeah.
the music is playing, and he's
Yeah.
playing with her face and her hair, and at first, because you don't know what he's gonna do with that hot dog, the taking of the hot dog was like, what is he doing? Again, it pays off, which is
I knew he was doing it for the dog. Yeah. That
did
part
you?
I thought about. Yeah, I did, because I said it to Nish. She was like, is he gonna eat that? And I go, he's doing it for the dogs. Classic Dumb and Dumber maneuver.
I guess. Yeah, I was just like,
Yeah.
save this snack for later.
Yeah.
Um, but I didn't like it. It kind of came off as a little bit creepy.
Mhm.
Like, hey, here's this girl that I just think is pretty, and now I'm like, I get to touch her and
Yeah. Oh, for
gaze
sure.
at her in slow motion, and then he leaves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He puts her
Yeah.
on the ground, and he's like, pew! And now,
Well, hopefully it pays off in 2 years or
clearly, I
whenever
mean,
that movie comes.
she's
Yeah.
in the movie, and
Yeah.
hopefully we'll have that interaction of, oh, hey, you saved me, and
Yeah.
you know,
Supposedly Billy Crudup isn't available to shoot.
yeah, I saw that.
And I was like, he can't get an hour to
Yeah,
fucking just be like, don't go back flat. You know what I mean? Like, you can't get this guy at all. Go to his house, do it on Zoom, like do something. It's gonna be very weird, when he
he's
does
such
go
an
back and do
he's
that.
such an integral part to Flash's story.
Yes.
What are they going to do? Are they just going to recast the father?
I don't know if they're just gonna be like, maybe they'll just do that.
They have to. They have the mom.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't
Very
know.
weird.
I would imagine they're going to recast.
Yeah.
But I did like him as his father.
Yeah, I like that guy. Yeah.
The short stuff they were giving us.
Dr. Manhattan.
Yeah. So yeah, I definitely, again, I was taken out of the movie during those types of scenes where the music is super over dramatic, and then it's slow motion, which is adding to the silliness of it. And I was like, man, I absolutely loved
the battle.
the battle was great, but I thought the Wonder Woman scene in the opening movie was fantastic.
Yeah.
It felt way fucking different than the Joss Whedon one.
It's extended like tenfold.
I was like, I felt her power. I was like, holy shit, she is murdering these people.
Yeah, she did. Well, I was thinking too, I'm like, okay, so I guess just like in 84, she like learns how to fly, right?
Yeah.
So I guess maybe at this point in 2017, she's like at her maximum. She knows who she is.
Oh yeah,
because she was like a vampire or something.
Wrecking fools.
Yeah, it was preternatural. Yeah, that scene was crazy. That was really
dope. I was like, man.
And then she blows the dude up, because I was like, okay, you hit your gauntlets. Does that cause an explosion?
Oh yeah, he was decimated.
Yeah. I mean, whatever. It was sweet. So
but I mean, she straight kicks that dude into the wall and
yeah. Yeah, that was good.
That was awesome. I was like, man, I want to see all of this. Like, just
yeah. Well, I also I liked one of the scenes I liked from the original, and it was just extended, was when Superman kicks all of their asses. I still like that. I love when Flash runs by and he's
that's
just
the best part. That's the best part of that.
Yeah.
I think that's great.
Yeah.
And it makes sense. You know,
It does.
It's
It's just
like,
like,
holy
you
shit.
don't know anything, little kid.
Yeah. I
It's
also really liked the where Flash and Aquaman are smashed into
in
the
the steps.
stairs, and
Yeah.
Aquaman just goes
Yeah.
like fucking
Yeah.
techno Viking.
I hated I forgot he had those eyes though, but I was just like, ugh, come on, man.
Yeah.
But
So there's some, I was entertained. I just overall didn't love the movie.
Yeah.
So
Oof. That's thick.
yeah.
Well, so let us know.
I would assume, the thing that you're going to be doing, that your 3-parter,
Oh man.
is going to be much more of a love fest.
Yeah, so guys, well, I don't know. Chris Walk for sure, but we're doing a 3-part episode on this where the Gutsy Media podcast will be going through the Whedon cut and kind of just how that was. So 45 minutes, and then another 45 minutes dedicated to leading up to the Snyder cut, which will be on Campfire Chats, and then on Towel Light Talk will be the review of the Snyder cut. So
I'll definitely be listening.
well, we're actually gonna do it on Facebook. I convinced the dudes to do it live so that because I thought, it's such a hot topic. Let's see what people say. Let's get them talking about it. So we're doing it on I don't know when this will come out.
This will go up probably today.
Well then, so we're doing it on March, what's today? 22nd, 24th at 9 p.m. Eastern time on Facebook Live. We'll do it. So should be wild. Can't wait.
Yeah. We gotta get together and talk about Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah. Not on this episode, but yes.
No. Something I did have a connection to.
Yeah, we'll jump across the pond for that.
So there you have it, guys. I mean, I am, I probably will. I said I wasn't going to, but I probably will watch it at least one more time just to.
Did River watch it?
No, he has no interest.
Oh, really? Okay.
0 interest.
Okay.
He used to, when he was littler, he used to like Batman. He doesn't give a shit about DC at all.
Okay.
Yeah. I showed him the Batman scene from Batman versus Superman.
Yeah.
He was like, "This is sick,"
It is.
He was like, is he like that through the whole movie? I was like, no, he's not. So I think he still appreciates Batman, but this, he's a Marvel kid for sure.
Yeah. That's fine. Nothing wrong with that.
He was bawling at Endgame. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, he's far more invested in that world than any of this. So but there you go. You have hope you guys enjoyed this. Let us know.
Yeah, let us know in the comments what you thought.
I thought I was, I wasn't bashing the movie.
You did not. No.
I thought I was very clear in my what I think of all of this, and then we have Casey's perspective. And
no, it was good. Yeah, it was a good episode. I feel.
It was. Yeah.
What do you guys think? So hit subscribe if you're watching. Hit the bell so you're informed. And check out the other things on the channel because there's enough for everybody.
Yeah, and there's plenty more LBP stuff coming. Warlock LBP stuff. It's a year of celebration for the 30th anniversary of LBP and the 10th anniversary of Warlock Home Video. Lots of fun stuff happening, and thanks everyone for indulging in your fantasies with Gourmet Scum Radio.
Mm-hmm.
Hit that shitty ska song.